Imagine a king so powerful that he believed no one could challenge him, a ruler who controlled the greatest kingdom of ancient Egypt. His name was Pharaoh. His power was immense, his army was strong, and his arrogance had no limits. In fact, he went so far in pride that he declared to his people, "I am your supreme lord." Yet the story of this mighty ruler would end in a way no one expected, because at the same time, Allah had already chosen a child who would one day challenge him, Prophet Musa. Pharaoh ruled Egypt with oppression and cruelty. Among the people living in his kingdom were the children of Israel, descendants of Prophet Jacob. Pharaoh feared that they might grow powerful and threaten his rule, so he treated them harshly and forced them into slavery. His fear grew even stronger when he heard a prophecy that a boy from the children of Israel would one day destroy his kingdom. Terrified of losing his power, Pharaoh gave a cruel order. Every newborn baby boy from the Israelites must be killed, while the girls would be allowed to live. Families lived in fear, and many innocent lives were lost. But no king can stop the plan of Allah. During this dark time, a baby boy was born who would change history forever. This child was Musa. Allah inspired Musa's mother with a command that seemed impossible. She was told to place her baby in a basket and release him into the Nile River. Imagine the fear in her heart. A mother placing her newborn child into a river, trusting only in Allah's protection. The basket floated gently along the Nile, carried by the current until it reached the palace of Pharaoh himself. When the basket was opened, Pharaoh's wife saw the beautiful baby and felt compassion in her heart. She asked Pharaoh not to harm the child and suggested they adopt him. And so the child who would one day challenge Pharaoh was raised inside Pharaoh's own palace. Years passed and Musa grew into a strong and wise man. One day, after an incident in the city where a man died during a conflict, Musa feared punishment and left Egypt. He traveled far and reached the land of Madian, where he lived for many years in peace. But Allah had chosen him for a much greater mission. One night while traveling with his family, Musa saw a mysterious fire on a mountain. This was the sacred Mount Sinai. When he approached it, Allah spoke to him and chose him as a prophet. Musa was given a mission that seemed impossible. Return to Egypt and call Pharaoh to worship Allah alone. Musa felt afraid, but Allah strengthened him and sent his brother Prophet Aaron to support him. Together they entered the palace of Pharaoh. Imagine the scene. Guards standing everywhere, golden halls, and a powerful king sitting on a magnificent throne. In front of this ruler stood Musa and Harun with a message from Allah. They called Pharaoh to believe in the one true God and to free the children of Israel from oppression. But Pharaoh laughed at them. His arrogance blinded him, and he rejected their message. To prove the truth, Allah gave Musa powerful miracles. When Musa threw his staff on the ground, it turned into a great serpent. Pharaoh was shocked, but he still refused to believe. Instead, he gathered the best magicians in Egypt to challenge Musa in front of the people. On the day of the contest, the magicians threw their ropes and staffs, and through magic, they appeared to move like snakes. But when Musa threw his staff, it swallowed all their illusions. The magicians immediately realized this was not magic but a miracle from Allah. They fell down in prostration and declared their belief in the Lord of Musa and Harun. Pharaoh became furious and threatened them with severe punishment. Yet the truth had already been revealed. Even after witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh refused to change. Because of his arrogance, Allah sent many warnings upon the land of Egypt. Floods destroyed crops, locusts covered the fields, frogs filled the streets, and the water turned into blood. Each time a punishment came, Pharaoh begged Musa to pray to Allah to remove it and promised he would believe. But every time the punishment was lifted, he broke his promise and returned to arrogance. Finally, Allah commanded Musa to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt during the night. Thousands of people began their journey to freedom. But when Pharaoh learned of their escape, he gathered his powerful army and chased them across the desert. Soon Musa and his people reached the sea. In front of them was the water, and behind them Pharaoh's army was approaching quickly. Fear spread among the people, and they cried out that they would surely be caught. But Musa remained calm and full of faith. He said that his Lord was with him and would guide him. At that moment, Allah commanded Musa to strike the sea with his staff. When he did, something incredible happened. The sea split apart, and huge walls of water rose on both sides. creating a path through the ocean. Musa and the children of Israel walked safely between these towering walls of water. Pharaoh and his army rushed after them into the same path, believing they could still capture them. But once they were inside, the waters suddenly collapsed. The sea closed over Pharaoh and his soldiers, drowning them all. As Pharaoh was drowning, he finally realized the truth and declared that he believed in the God of the children of Israel. But it was too late. His life of arrogance and oppression had already sealed his fate. Allah declared that Pharaoh's body would be preserved as a sign for future generations. A reminder that no matter how powerful a ruler becomes, no one can escape the justice of Allah. The story of Musa and Pharaoh remains one of the most powerful lessons in the Qur'an. It teaches that arrogance and tyranny will eventually fall, while faith, patience, and trust in Allah lead to victory. Even the greatest king in the world could not stop the truth, and the child he tried to destroy became the prophet who brought his empire to an end.